Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing 2-in-1 again. Yes, this is the same shirt. I'm doing this all in the same night. The first story is going to be about two women. So I'm going to give them names Peggy and Brenda. Okay, Peggy is an older lady that came in about the second week. Very devastated. She was there for a custody battle with her grandson and everything. And I'm not going to get into that because it has something to do with children. That is not my business. I'm not going to put that on the internet. Now, the other lady, Brenda, she was, I don't know what she was there for. Let me describe Peggy for you. Peggy was an older lady. She had long brown and gray hair. She was kind of heavy, and she was about in her 50s, and she was really sweet. Brenda, she had blonde hair, long blonde hair. She was tatted up, skinny. I don't know if she was tall or short. I barely knew the lady, because she had came in sometime after the woman cosmetologist lady did, and so they were gonna get their hair cut with me. Now, I had just gotten my hair cut. My hair was short, after she had cut it. It was black because I had recently dyed my hair black. Maybe a few weeks before that, so it was freshly black. So, after I had gotten my hair cut, other people had came and got their hair cut. Now, Brenda, since she was tatted up, she told me that her husband was tatted up as well. She was telling me that her husband has a skull tattoo. Now, I do not mean a tattoo of a skull. He had a tattoo on his bald head, okay? On his entire head, okay? And so she wanted to match him, I guess. So she was having the lady shave half her head and just leave a long part of her hair right here so she can have it braided. But she was going to get a tattoo on from her back to her whole side of her head. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, wow, that's not weird at all. I'm like, wouldn't that be painful? She's like, no, it's fine. My husband did it. So, Peggy sees Brenda shaving her head. And she thought, she's like, I want to try something different. So, poor Peggy everybody's like, yeah, you should cut your hair, She's like, oh, I want to look good for my husband. She's like, but I know he's gonna kill me after I get my hair cut, but it's okay. What Brenda did was drastic, okay, but she had a point to her head being shaved. Peggy, on the other hand, did not have a plan. She wanted to shave her head. But instead of doing what Brenda did, or shaved half her head, she had her hair up in a ponytail. And she legit shaved bald the back part of her head there to like a certain hairline. So she had her hair, and then she had a big ass bald spot right there. And it thinned out her hair, alright. It thinned out her hair, but, that's something I would never have done, because she didn't leave no hair back there. Like, say if the woman wanted to leave her design, she couldn't. There was no hair there. She had literally shaved it bald. She shaved her head a few days before I got out. And, yeah, I don't know what happened. I know she was going to prison for a long time, but I don't know what happened. The second story, there was this woman in jail with me that I knew for a long time. I had known this woman for a very long time. She has known me since I was a kid. She was kind of a bigger woman, lesbian. She was African American, and she was huge. I'm like huge, like Amber Lynn size. She was nice and funny. She would walk around in her underwear or boxers and, a tank top. And she would, just walk around. She'd watch TV. Like at night, she'd walk around in her boxers and tank top. And then, then she would, during the day, she'd sit there and watch TV. We'd be watching Ridiculousness. That was literally the show we all watched in jail, like Ridiculousness. So she came up to me around the first week that she had showed up, because she was there previously. She had just gotten out. She was out from Christmas. So she had gotten out Christmas, and then she was out for several months, and then she got arrested in July. After she had gotten arrested, she saw me, and she's like, "Aren't you so-and-so's daughter?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, yeah. How's, your stepdad, blah, blah, blah." And, I'm telling her what happened and shit, and I'm telling her who I'm dating now, and at that point, and she was like, so you're dating so-and-so? And I'm like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Oh, yeah, he tried to fuck me." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "He tried to fuck me." And I'm like, "Huh." And at this point, me and my ex were already writing letters to each other around this point in time. So I wrote him a letter, and I'm like, "Hey, so do so and so, right?" And he was like, "Yeah." And this was a whole letter I'm gonna break down for you. I'm back and forth. Basically, me telling him that I miss him, blah blah blah, and that I was like, "Do you know so and so?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, so and so says that you are trying to fuck her, and it's really pissing me off, and I really don't know. I don't want to get into a fight in jail, blah blah blah, stuff like that." And he was like, "That's a lie. Like, I would never try to do that. Like, blah 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 blah." And she was saying that he had tried to do that, like, as I was in jail. And so, like, it kind of messed with me a little bit, and it pissed me off too. And I was like, I'm like, okay, like, I don't know. I was believing him at first, and this whole time I was in jail, like, I swear. But anyway, but yeah. So basically, I mean, it's not much of a story, so I'm gonna add the third story on there. So the third story is about a lawyer. I'm not gonna say his name. Now, when I first got there, we were talking about our court cases and stuff, because I was supposed to get out that same day, or I was supposed to get out the next day that I had gotten arrested, because it was my first offense. I was never a juvenile. I was a good ass kid. Like, I never did anything. So these prostitutes were talking to me. This one particular prostitute, I can't remember her name, but she's not relevant to give her a name. She was telling me about, she's like, "I really hope you don't have this lawyer." And I was like, "Why?" And she goes, "Well, if you don't have money to pay him, he will make you come to his house, dance on the bed in your underwear, and you'd be dancing on a bed full of cocaine or crack, basically drugs." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Is he even allowed to do that?" She goes, "Oh yeah, and he videotapes it." And I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm scared now. I'm like, "I really hope I don't get him, because I won't be able to pay him." And so, about a month ago, I was on Facebook, and I had gotten a notification on my Facebook saying that somebody had posted about the same lawyer. And I went and clicked on it because it was from the news. It was from the news on the from my hometown, and it said basically something along the lines of he had gotten arrested for something about sex trafficking, and basically just all of this shit. Like, he was sex trafficking, and he was selling drugs, and he was doing all of these things, and you know, he was caught with somebody or something or other, and he was basically put to jail, like put in jail. What he did was terrible. I was kind of shocked to hear that and like to see that online, because I was like, damn. I'm like, who knew? Several years later, this man would have been arrested for shit that he was doing, and he was just a weird man. Like, he was a big guy. Like, okay, he was 5'9". I'd say about 5'9". He was huge. Like, this man was huge, and he was old. White hair, ginormous, freaking, I mean, he was a dick, and I did not like him. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you do, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!